Jeff Larsen, Sidewalk Talks in front of Fuzzies. Take one. You think that was a loud enough clap to sync the camera? Yeah. Sweet. Jeff Larsen, I'm so happy to talk to you. Look at you. You're just like a smiling, happy, funny guy.
I am always willing to talk, Phil. In fact,
that's true.
I think people sometimes avoid me because... So, back when I was selling cars, that terrible, terrible year of my life when I was selling cars, one of the other salesmen nicknamed me Long Stories. And I think it was meant as an insult. It is still my handle on some...
I do want to say that tracks because of all the people that I was like, hey, let's do a sidewalk talk, you sent me the longest message about what you wanted to talk about. Like, I sent you that text and you sent me a reply back, and I looked at this giant wall of text. I said, I'll read that later. So that tracks.
Yeah.
You had to sell cars?
I did, yeah.
No offense to people who love selling cars. That's super cool, but it sounds terrible to me. Like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
It's great organization. I was part of the Garber family.
Yeah.
And
heck yeah, Garber. You guys rock.
It was all Jimmy's doing.
Oh, really? Jimmy Green?
Yeah, he said because I had been a teacher, got out of education, and his daughter was in my class, and so I knew Jimmy that way. And I said, dude, I'm leaving education. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. He said, you should work for Garber. And I said, I'm never going to sell cars. He said, do it for the organization, not the job.
Heck yeah.
But unfortunately, I treated it like a job, so I never really went all in.
Yeah.
I knew that it was a temporary thing, and it lasted a year. I tried to quit 3 times, and they talked me out of it every time. And then finally, they were like, dude, you're just not selling cars. I was like, see?
Yeah. They gave you 3 chances and finally like, no, this is better for everybody if you just go. See, and I think that's my issue with it. Like, I wouldn't do a good job of it. Somebody would come in and say, like, yeah, we're thinking about buying this truck. And it's like, cool, let's do it. And they're like, well, I need to go back and talk to my wife. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I was, I was such an empath. I'm trying to give away cars, you know.
Uh-huh. I'll cut you a deal.
Yeah, which will pay for your ramen but not your steak.
Right. One of the many things that you sent me about what you wanted to talk about was Detroit style versus New York style versus Chicago style pizza. Of those 3, which one is the champion and why?
Oh, Detroit style.
Why? Why do you say that? I mean, I love Detroit. No offense to Detroit.
So, like, the square and the deep dish where you get, like, that crispy grease on the great bread. I'm such a bread fan. And so when you get more bread and more of the right style of crunch, like, I don't like the thin crust. Like, I'm not trying to eat my pizza on a saltine,
Oh, the New Yorkers just groaned at you right now. I heard it.
That's fine. Enjoy Brooklyn.
Well, Old World Pizzeria has a really killer deep dish when he has it. Like, he has this killer deep dish, like, square style.
Yeah.
And it is, like, fluffy like a cloud. I eat that deep dish, and I'm crazy about it. And typically I'm not, but...
Okay. I've not had that. And listen, like... saying that one is better than the others does not mean I will not partake of the others.
Fair.
And Old World's got great pizza. I mean,
Old World. Yeah, Eric, you do a good job.
Yeah.
People are probably sick of me talking about Eric and his pizza, but I'm just going to keep doing it. I don't care what you guys think.
Yeah. Part of my Old World story is your brother. I was like, are you Phil, not Phil?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we get that a lot. Like, we're going to Red Eye, like, right after each other, and the barista's like, wow, you're back again.
Yeah. The last time I saw him actually was at the Red Eye, and I chose not to engage. I was like, respect his space. Like, I was trying to make this eye contact, and we made it quickly.
Yeah.
And it looked like he had no idea who I was. And I was like, okay, so either that's not Phil, or that's condescending. I don't have time for the stories, Phil.
I have gotten messages like that where like a message will pop up on Messenger and somebody will be like, hey, Phil, Saw you at Red Eye this morning, but you acted like you didn't know me, and I was just wondering if like we're still cool. And I have to go through this explanation of like I do have an identical twin brother, and I send them a photo for proof so they know I'm not just lying to them. So I should.
And it's not that he's rude,
no,
but
he just doesn't know you.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have him on a Sidewalk Talk just to say like, everybody, this is Matt, and I am Phil, and yes, he is my twin, just to introduce him to the world. So. What do you think about the food scene in Saginaw?
I think it's awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much to choose from. Not necessarily on a Monday, but
fair.
But it's part of my favorite thing about the food scene in Saginaw is just like I was talking about. I run into your brother at Old World and Red. Like, if you get into the food scene in Saginaw, it's like Cheers.
Yes.
It's like, where everybody knows your name. I remember the very first time I went to Bring Her In, and I was like, I don't even know what is happening.
It's
right
like
now.
a family reunion. Like you go walking into somebody's kitchen.
Like 4 of the most important meetings that were going to happen in Saginaw that day were happening right then and there, just out in the open.
Yeah. I got involved in Riverfront at Bring Her In. I met Wayne Hoffman for the first time at Bring Her In. We had become Facebook friends. Really didn't know each other. We kind of liked what we were talking about, and we're like, we should meet up. And we met at Bring Her In, drinking some coffee, eating omelets. And he's like, "Did you hear that Riverfront Saginaw is looking for some help?" And I was like, "What is Riverfront Saginaw?"
Yeah.
And he explained it to me, and I thought it was super cool. I was working with small businesses at the time only. Didn't even think about working with communities. And I was like, this sounds super cool. I like where this is going. And he said, well, you better hurry up because proposals are due tomorrow. So I ran back to my office and I sat at my desk and I was like, how would I go about marketing a fairly complicated city with 50,000 people? Like, how would you do that? And I was sitting there and I said, human faces, human stories. Like, if the thing about Saginaw is its people, why don't we show its people to the world? Yeah. And that was the forward proposal, and here we are. It happened at Bring Her In because of the food scene.
My Wayne story, Elena introduced Wayne to me at Dawn of a New Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
see?
Some of the takeaways from that were he agreed to wear pink and raise money.
That's right.
And it gave, like, the update on the SVRC marketplace, which my wife got involved with helping open that. And so, yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Miss you, Dons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food. I love that you pointed out that the food scene in Saginaw feels like Cheers, because I was going to say, considering the size of Saginaw, like people think, look, Saginaw, you're so huge, but thinking like city of Saginaw, not that huge. Thinking Old Town, downtown, all very comparatively small. You think about like even just Old Town, like the 2 or 3 blocks, like the food there, Pasong's and Old World and Artisan and Fralia's, and you got Panda House and all of these great places. I'm sorry if I left you out. You go over to downtown, you got SVRC, you got 10, 15 different places to eat there. Yep. And so considering the size, the food is killer, but then you run into everybody that you know wherever you go, because the city is very small, and it just feels very cool.
Yeah. And Hamilton Street, you got Valerie's across from
Valerie's
Marketplace.
Yes. Those trash can nachos.
We didn't even, in the text we talked about halal munchies.
Yes. Halal munchies. You guys crush it.
I've never had a gyro that I couldn't finish before.
It's gigantic.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I get the lamb over rice almost every time I go, because it's so killer. I'm gonna say I was a little bit skeptical at first. I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm very dedicated to all the places that I eat. I don't know if I can stray. Yeah. And I'm so glad that I did. It paid off.
Have you done the lamb kebabs at Retro Rocks?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Retro Rocks. You guys have a killer menu too. Yeah. I love the uniqueness of Retro Rocks menu, because like you go there and you're not gonna eat. I mean, you could eat a cheeseburger, but they've got like fun stuff that you won't eat anywhere else. Yeah. So, good job, everybody. Good job, City of Saginaw, and your food scene. I love it. On the other spectrum, of food, health.
Yeah.
You work for the Great Lake Bay Health Centers.
Yes.
Doing what?
I'm
what you do.
I'm the Chief Growth and Development Officer.
Oh.
Google it. There is not another Chief Growth. Like, however the leadership came up with that title, like, super unique.
Well, whatever it is you're doing is working because you guys are growing.
We are. Yeah.
Whatever it is you do.
it's not an easy time to grow either.
Right.
You know, there's interesting things that are going on, but we are growing because we need to grow. If people don't know who we are or what we do, and we get that a lot.
Yes.
Right? Like,
please explain. Give us the 101.
You compete against the hospitals. Well, no. Like, we don't have any overnight. We compete against primary care offices, right? But even then, we don't. We are here to serve the underserved, underinsured, and uninsured populations. So many people that if they're looking for a family doctor, they call around, oh, we don't take your insurance, or you don't even have insurance, so you can't come here. And no, I don't blame them. They have to work with their reimbursement model. We're set up differently, where that's our ideal patient, right? Yes, we're going to lose money on every single patient we see. We're actually cool with that because we get some base funding from the federal government and have some other things with, like, our pharmacy rates and things that can help make us whole. But every year is okay, how are we going to do this process? But we look at data that tells us how many people exist in that population, and it's 3 times the number that we can actually care for right now.
Wild.
And so so we need to, you know, in Uptown Bay City, we are building a new building that should be open about a year from now that is going to more than double our capacity in Bay City.
Awesome.
And so when this medical diamond thing came to us, it was really weird. We went to certain events, and sometimes our logo was on there, and we were in our feelings like, we haven't committed to that yet. And then we go to the next meeting, and our logo's not on there, and we're in our feelings like, hey, we're part of
we want to be part of this too.
But we have committed to that, and
awesome.
And what's helping make that possible is we actually we're a recipient of some ARPA dollars from the city. And the goal for us specifically is a behavioral health center of excellence.
Very
so
cool.
It's such a huge need, and we're doing behavioral health around, but we don't have any dedicated space on the east side. And so that's really, really important for us. We will expand our offering for primary care as well, because there's still access issues there. We're talking about some other things, some collaborative projects, and we'll put a pharmacy there because access to medication and affordable medication is a huge thing. But that it's really interesting because it is a top of mind thing for so many. I mean, the need to raise funds, you know, donors are trying to figure out, hey, you know, people are asking us about medical diamond money. And which part of it, because there's so many different parts of it. So trying to make things clear for donors that want to help make this happen. What does it actually mean? When is it going to happen? And what's it going to look like? And the when for us, we are going to be in a space that has yet to be a final design, but what we've seen so far is it will include us and then a vestibule dividing us and the county health department. And then within that same structure, some interior parking ramp type style. And then I think that the housing, short and long-term housing, and some mixed-use retail space is all going to be in that, and that will probably be the first structure to break ground.
Cool.
As soon as maybe spring of next
Ooh.
year. And then SVSU, I know, is planning to be part of it. Right. Obviously, CMU bringing the med school here is part of that, and they've had some leadership change, so some of that is getting a little more clear. Like it was clear, then it wasn't. Now it's getting there again.
Yeah. I love this, and this conversation connects so strongly to a recent conversation I had with Tina Dow Swanton with the Saginaw Community Food Club and Kitchen, in that like one of the big conversations in Saginaw is like, how do we serve the underserved? And the food club is such a great way to do, like, access to quality food has been a conversation for so long. And she said a lot of like similar things is like the food club is not in competition with Hidden Harvest or Eastside Food Kitchen or anything like that. They are absolutely necessary emergency food services. We serve Alice population that need a different kind of service, or they can go to East Side when they run out of food, and then they can come here and shop at a grocery store. And so it's very a cooperative, collaborative effort to say, how can we serve the underserved? And when you're talking about what Great Lakes Bay Health Center does, it's like we're not competing against hospitals, we're not competing against primary care. What we're doing is we're serving the underserved and saying, you as a human being deserve the right to good quality healthcare, to good low-cost quality medications. Like, you should have access to that, and you shouldn't have to drive 10 miles to do it. And it should be on your side of the river, on the other side of the river, within walking distance, close to public transportation, all of those things. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. And I love it.
And the hospitals love us as well. Right?
I believe it.
You think about the patients that we serve and how frequently, if those patients are out of a care routine, and then they finally decide, hey, I need to get healthy again, right? Or I've got this nagging thing that I need to deal with. If they don't have an existing relationship with a medical provider, and we do dental, and we do eye care, and we do more than there's time on a sidewalk talk for.
We do a lot of stuff.
But the hospital doesn't want that individual to come to the ER.
Yes.
Right? Because it's not an emergency. And it is for them. And that's valid. But it's not traditionally an emergency. You know, they don't have a massive gaping wound. They didn't have a heart attack. Right. You know, so it's really expensive. You know, part of what we're navigating right now is some federal changes to Medicaid. And why is Medicaid so expensive? Why is the government spending so much of it? So much money on Medicaid? A lot of it is because, so we care, as federally qualified health centers across the country, we care for 20% of the Medicaid population. And our reimbursement, our total portion of Medicaid costs is 2.3%. So we're super efficient with those government dollars. And hospitals don't have the luxury of being efficient in that way financially. They have to spend what they have to spend. And so when folks that have, I'm saying Medicaid a lot, right? That's like half of our patients. So the biggest portion of it. When they're coming to see us, they're going to the hospital less. That's helping the hospitals stay efficient. That's helping federal dollars stay efficient. Like, we're the answer. Like,
it's also helping other community members, because now when I am facing an emergency, I can go to the emergency room and I don't have to wait 2 hours because there's less people waiting for things that needs that shouldn't be met in the emergency room. And so it helps the community at large.
Yeah, it affects all of us. Yeah. So, yeah. He humbly said, we're the solution.
We are the solution. I'm interested to talk to you about this because, like, just listening to you speak and the role that you play with Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, like, you're a very qualified person. Like, you're like, and I've always respected that about you. Like, you're a professional and you're smart and you know what you're doing. And I heard you chuckle when I said that because like one of the things that you threw in this giant list of things you wanted to talk about, like some of them completely nonsensical. You threw in imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Because that is such a thing that I have battled, and I've talked to other people that have battled it. People that are absolute pillars that are like, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
But I spent, I'm not going to disrespect people and call it PTSD, but if you've had bad experiences, if you've faced rejection, and who hasn't, right? If you have ever felt like you weren't good enough for something, man, that can stay with you for a long time. And so when I applied for this job, I actually applied for it 2 years before it was posted. And then when they finally posted it, and Monica, who works for me now, sent me a message like, "Hey, this is online. Will you come be my boss?" And I thought, okay, I have a job that I like. I really like is underselling it. I loved my job with the American Cancer Society, and so it felt like this shoot your shot moment. Like, I've got nothing to lose. If I wouldn't have gotten it, I absolutely would have said valid and then been in my feelings for a long time.
You're right, and then I would have cried for the next 4 months.
Yes. But I got it, and I thought, oh my gosh, when are they going to figure out that I don't know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And our CEO jokingly, we do 90-day reviews with all new staff, and mine was on day 88 or 89, and she had no ill intentions, but she joked oh, well, it's not been 90 days, so I can fire you for nothing right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is how you're telling me that you're going to do it. And I would have been like, yeah, that sounds right. But we do leadership training at work, and we have to talk about imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And we've got quotes from Maya Angelou that says every time she sends a book to the publisher, she thinks, this is the one where they're going to find out that I don't know. Friggin' Maya Angelou, right? The CEO of Starbucks, Albert Einstein.
Yep.
Didn't think that he could cut it. So we've got quotes from these people that are legends and absolutely crushing it, who just at the heart of it really don't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And so empowering people to reflect and be like, you didn't get here on accident. We're all good enough at our jobs that we saw who you are when we hired you. And we knew that you weren't perfect, but you're perfect for this role right now.
Yeah.
And your journey, you're walking down the road. We're here for what you're going to become, but we're here for what you are right now, and just investing in people and helping people believe and really flipping that switch. I remember having a specific thought on a day where I was kind of not believing in myself and thinking man, there are so many people in this community that would be better at my job than me. Which is still super true, right? If they ever wanted to upgrade, the talent is here. but
you have options.
I remember sitting in a meeting and thinking about, different people's style at the table, and none of them were big on communication. And I was like, oh, okay, so there are people better in the community for my job, but there's not better people in the organization for my job.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to talk to each other. And I was like, okay, I use the term, you've met Angela Williams.
Yeah.
She is absolutely delightful.
I love you. She's amazing.
Yeah. And she's on social media, but not in a way that you can ever see her. So she may see this. So, hey, Angela, love you.
Love you.
But I used a term with her. So she's been a nurse for 40 years. And I said, I like to be social lubricant. She's like, she can never look at me the same way because, you just can't disassociate that second word. I swear this is still a family show.
Yeah, we can still retain our PG rating. I love what you're saying, and I had somebody kind of reframe it a little bit for me, in that I was a year or so ago. I was going through a really intense kind of emotional time with the work, and like it's very public work, and so that kind of holds you up to a lot of public criticism, and I take it very personally. Like it's something that I've tried to work on, and I can't shake it. And I was in the depths, and I was texting my friend Ben Muldrow, who also works with communities across the country, and I was just like, I wish that I could just have the thick skin that everybody talks about. I wish I could just not care. And he sent me a message back. I see the little dots, and he sends me a message back, and he said, I don't know if I want to feel like that.
Wow.
And like immediately my entire concept of like what the solution was flipped upside down, because like up until that point I was desperately trying to solve this problem. Like, Phil, you got to be less sensitive. Phil, you got to be less empathetic. You got to be professional. You got to grow this thick skin. You got to care less. Like all of those things. Like that's the solution. And when he said that to me, it really directed me towards like, no, like you're like this thing that you're looking at as a weakness is your strength. And like you instead of always trying to run away from that hurt that you're feeling, you maybe should just accept like that's always going to be present. Like you are always going to take that personally, because the part of you that takes that criticism personally, whether it's self-directed or directed by others, that part of you that takes that criticism personally is the same part of you that allows you to be empathetic and understanding and communicate with people and care about people in a different way. And I think about that when we talk about imposter syndrome, is like, yeah, maybe instead of trying to convince yourself like and say, well, I'm absolutely qualified and I should be proud. You should be proud, and you are likely very qualified, and you do need to say those things. But at the same time, like maybe look at that kind of never-ending quest to be more qualified and to be better as one of the superpowers, because as soon as that goes away, you become a person who does not care about what they do, does not care about improving, does not care about adapting or serving people better or at a greater scale or in different ways. And so maybe embrace that part of you that makes you feel bad. And so that Ben Muldrow, like, I think that was a brilliant response, and that's what I would encourage people.
I love that. Turn that into fuel, into drive, into ambition to get better and silence your own critic. I think where imposter syndrome can be really damaging is when you turn it into like analysis paralysis on yourself, right? If you stop because you don't think you're good enough, then that hurts you and it hurts everybody else. Like, go get it. Like go to the furthest degree that you're capable, which is farther than you think you're capable. And then when you get there, ask somebody. Like, ask somebody else for help.
Be humble. Give yourself permission to act and be a little bit messy. Like that, I love that you said, like, the analysis paralysis, like perfection is the enemy of good. Like you just like if you're trying to be perfect and right in every single case, it's not going to work. So get out there, do your thing, ask somebody for help, for advice. Who can I partner up with? And then do it again better, and do it again better, and do it again better. So I love that. Speaking of imposter syndrome, here at the end, one of the situations that we're both mutually in is being a father. And that, like, becoming a father really confronts you with all these different elements of, like, am I who I say I am, and can I actually do this? And you had a bonus child, and you're like, oh my goodness, like, what is happening to my life right now? Before I let you go, what would be one piece of advice, because you're a more experienced veteran father than myself, what would be one piece of advice you would give me as a father that you've learned?
Does it apply to twins? Because I don't.
Probably not. It's a completely different guy.
You're a friggin' superhero.
It's my wife. It's my wife and my family. They do it. I just sit on sidewalks and talk into microphones.
So, to help the people that don't know, my wife and I have been married 23 years, 23 glorious years.
Aww.
We have a 19-year-old who is starting sophomore year at SVSU. We've got a 16-year-old who's starting his junior year, and then we've got a 3-year-old. Like, same two people, right? Got rid of everything. Like, always wanted another kid. It wasn't happening
I would
our
die.
time frame.
I would die.
Yeah.
I would just fade away into dust.
My wife cried for 2 weeks.
We won't show this to your 3-year-olds.
Right, yeah.
Can watch it.
Oh, she'll know. She'll know. But it's so cool because, number one, it's like a time machine, right? Like, you look at our daughter Violet and you're like, man, that's Lily 16 years ago, right? So you get to relive it. You get to do things a little different. You get to use what you've learned. And then you get to find out that what you've learned doesn't matter because this child is unique, right? Yeah. Everybody is their own person. And so what works, it's a huge lesson in life. Like we try to have the same, I try to have the same conversation with you that I'm going to have with somebody later on today. And it's not going to land the same because you're different people, right? Yeah. And so you just observe. That would be my advice is just observe, like the wonder of just watched Fantastic Four. Yeah. And I'm not going to spoil it. The baby's important. So you just watch and learn who they are and who they're becoming, and when they say your name 12 times in a row in 12 seconds, like, why did they do that? It's because they want they are going to be honest about their needs. It'll sound a little different. You've got to figure out how to translate it, but if you're really listening, they'll tell you everything. Yeah. You just have to hear it. And so if you try to just go through life with it happening on the side or as a occasional thing that you're attentive to, it's going to get frustrating for them, for you. But if you really listen, if you take a beat to stop what you're doing, to stop any other distractions and just give your all to them for a while, you'll have this connection that is going to last longer than anything else.
Such brilliant advice, because it's so easy, especially when you're in periods of fatigue and overwhelm and stress and busyness, to just react. And instead of, and when you say observe, I love how it really encourages you to check that initial reflex and reaction and just say, like, why are they saying that? It happened to me yesterday. I'm down in the kitchen, sitting at the table, and my daughter Evelyn is upstairs in her room, and I'm talking to my wife, and Evelyn goes, I hear her say, Dad, and I'm getting annoyed because I'm talking, and here she's interrupting me again for the 13th time, whatever. And Dad, and I'm like, what? And she goes, I love you. Yeah. And when you're saying observe, it's like, well, like, why did she do that? Right. Like she wanted to make sure that I was still there. She wanted to say I love you, and I should have checked myself and said, I should have reacted better. So I think that's such brilliant advice. I think you are such a brilliant person, Jeff Larsen. I want to thank you so much for this delightful sidewalk talk, buddy. It has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're awesome. Heck yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I love that conversation, bro.